Joe Biden, Harris, they have announced they are running for office. Did they do a live event? Absolutely not. Did they do a rally? No way. Was it totally pre-taped with a lot of B-roll? Yes.
Freedom, personal freedom, is fundamental to who we are as Americans.
There's nothing more important, nothing more sacred.
That's been the work of my first term, to fight for our democracy.
This shouldn't be a red or blue issue.
To protect our rights, to make sure that everyone in this country is treated equally and that everyone is given a fair shot at making it. But you know, around the country, MAGA extremists are lining up to take on those bedrock freedoms, cutting Social Security that you paid for your entire life while cutting taxes for the very wealthy, dictating what health care decisions women can make, banning books, and telling people who they can love, all while making it more difficult for you to be able to vote.
What did he not cover there? Well, record inflation. Under Joe Biden, it's at 5%.
Gas is, by the way, almost at $5 a gallon here.
Under President Trump, it's at 1.4% inflation. Biden, 87,000 new IRS agents. Trump, 0 new IRS agents. The Biden tax hikes on 111 Americans. Under Trump, there were $3.2 trillion in tax cuts. He did not talk about the botched withdrawal from Afghanistan, the border crisis, no foreign policy, which we're seeing play out in Sudan as we speak, and in the Middle East as we speak, now that Saudi Arabia has aligned itself with Iran. Again, loss of energy independence in the United States and having to rely on bad actors around the world to provide much dirtier energy to our process, surging crime throughout cities and states around the country, horrible drug usage, including the fentanyl scourge on our country, the baby formula shortage, the infrastructure issues, even with the Infrastructure Reduction Act that had nothing to do with infrastructure. But what he's doing that is he is ignoring the world.
Well,
he's ignoring the reality that we all live in, which is like we're worried day to day about the economy and about there's a foreign war between European countries ongoing right now.
It was abortion, which is going to be very big for them. And then
January 6th and chaos.
Yeah, and chaos. Which will be the theme that they run with. I don't think there's any doubt on that.
Yeah, MAGA extremists.
Yeah, it's going to be the MAGA. He said MAGA extremists is the exact phrase he used.
The NBC News poll today said that 70% of Americans total said he shouldn't run again for president. 70%, not just Republicans.
But I guarantee he has a 50% chance of winning.
At least.
Yeah.
Incumbents hard to beat.
I think what the Democrats are looking at is we did much better than midterms. We were supposed to get killed. We didn't. The Joe Biden strategy worked last time campaigning from his basement. He'll just have to do a little bit more than that this time. Doesn't face any kind of real primary challenge whatsoever. And so he's going to keep telling the American people it's domestic, it's domestic, it's domestic. Don't look at Ukraine. Don't look over there at China. Don't worry about Russia. Don't worry about the Middle East or Iran or your interest rates. We'll keep bailing you out.
When I ran for president 4 years ago, I said we're in a battle for the soul of America, and we still are. The question we're facing is whether in the years ahead we have more freedom or less freedom, more rights or fewer. I know what I want the answer to be, and I think you do too.
They're running off that exact same theme.
Right. The soul of the nation should be pro-abortion. It should be sending you money. It should be printing money as needed. Don't worry about the violence in the streets. Don't worry about the drug problems. Don't worry about the border. Don't worry about what's going on overseas. They're still blaming that on Republicans. Remember, they blamed the Sudanese crisis in Sudan. They said that was the Republicans' fault. They said the Afghan withdrawal was Donald Trump's fault. I mean, the list goes on, but they think that people will believe it. I look at that Biden announcement video. There was not even a mention of our southern border.
Of course not.
Americans are being killed because of what's happening at the southern border. It's fentanyl. It is drug cartels, and the violence from drug cartels has spilled over where they're killing kids, killing babies in the back of cars. In drug-style cartel killings in California. I mean, we saw that. The fentanyl crisis, the drug crisis, and then we've seen terrorists caught. I mean, with our new campaign on aclj.org/cover, I'm walking people through that campaign that the Biden administration doesn't want you to focus on.
Not only do they not want you to know about the bad actors coming across, they don't want you to even think about it. They want you not to even be on your mind about the border.
I think it showed you how he's going to campaign, which is from the Rose Garden, not a lot of big rallies, not a lot of huge events, And that worked for him the first time, and they're going to see if it works for him the second time with at least having the surroundings and trappings of the White House behind him instead of just his basement in Delaware next to his classified documents and his Corvette.